We are live. Hello? Bridgetti?
Can I lead you in and then ask you to introduce yourself?
Bridgetti,
Yeah.
we are
Yes.
live. We are live.
We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to 5 Days Live, where we share tips and tricks to help you up-level your live streaming game and help you get started if you still need a push just to get off the couch, to help you to use live streaming to elevate your business, your brand, your cause, or your network. So hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Bridgetti Banda. I'm a Global Goodwill Ambassador, and I'm a live stream host and producer, and I help brands, networks, and social good communities to create great digital live streaming experiences. And I'm going to hand over to my co-host today. Tina, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, good morning from here, Bridgetti, and hello everyone out in live land and the replay viewers. I'm Tina Valant. I'm a photographer here in South Florida, USA. Bridgetti and Stephen and I all met online. We've never met in person, but I feel we know each other very well because of this wonderful platform. So today, Bridgetti and I want to address your live strategy. Where do you go? How do you start? How do you get in the water? And you might be like, why are they talking about this again? And I wanted to start out with that fear of repetition. There's a lot of you that don't know me. You've never seen me. So as much as I'd like to believe I have stalkers, I really don't. So it's always new to someone out there. And maybe you've heard of me, or you know Ladies Go Live, our online community, or you know me from Raising Butterflies or Dog Rescue or whatever, but you don't know this aspect of what I bring to the table. So that's something that we want to talk about today, is everything old is new again. And maybe before, when you were watching it, our message didn't resonate with you. So Bridgetti and I want to come in from the ground floor with something new, something fresh, maybe for you the first time today, or maybe it's an affirmation you need to hear again. So Bridgetti, what are your top tips in someone that's like, I want to push that live button, but I don't know where to start?
You know, I'd like to say to that person, just get started. But I understand it's not always as easy as that. And I know most people say, just get started. And I want to say a quick hello to everyone who's joining us live. Hello, Terry, and hello, Corinda. It isn't always that easy for everybody. Some people just need that push and, say to them, go live, and they will do it. But for other people, it's a psychological struggle that they have to go over. They may have other kind of insecurities and stuff that they need to deal with. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. I get that. I was at that place. I was not just one of those people that could hit the go live button. I had to do some psychological work and tell myself that I'll be okay. I'm not going to die if I hit the go live button. People are not going to laugh at me. And one of the things, it's a huge topic, helping you get over your fears of going live. But I'm going to give you a tip here. Something that helped me get over the edge was focusing on my message, taking the focus off me, taking the focus of what I looked like or anything else about myself, and focusing on the fact that here I had a tool, a mechanism that I could use to deliver a message that other people wanted and needed to hear. And I had the ability to do that. And once I made that mind shift, once I made that my focus, I stopped worrying about me so much. I was focusing more on my content and how I could best deliver that content to my viewers, people that needed to hear it. And then another practical tip that helped me get over the fence in the beginning was look for opportunities to go live in other people's shows. Because very often people who are in the same space, or people that are willing to give others a hand, they'll say, come and be a guest on my show. Don't turn down those opportunities, because it's a practice opportunity for you to get off the couch.
And you're flexing your muscle.
Yes. Raise your hand. When somebody says, I'm looking for someone to come into my show. Raise your hand and raise your hand high. Grab the opportunity.
So Bridgetti,
That's my number one tip.
grab it. So you touched upon something really important. And I had a discussion with a friend this week, and she said, oh, I should have gone live back, 4 years ago when you started doing it. And she's beating herself up and blah, blah, blah. So we said, she had a great message, she said the other day. And I said, people would love to hear this live. Memorize these 3 sentences you just said about your story and where you come from. People are hungry for that. And she said, yeah, but I have some family and they'll judge me. You know what? Who cares? If you are doing it, look at all those people that troll. They don't even go live. So it's real easy to hide behind your keyboard and a fake profile and a fake picture. But we are the leaders here. We're on the leading edge. I don't even have a passport. I have Bridgetti, a friend in South Africa. I have Stephen in the UK. I have friends all around the world because of this platform. What is holding you back? Only your own excuses. So you can go on in a private group, like a community like Ladies Go Live, that's a private, safe group. Go on there and start flexing your live muscle. My dear friend, Terry Miller, is there. Good morning and hi, Terry. And she is someone who always goes live with angel messages. And there's a niche for you out there, and someone is out there waiting to hear your message. I've actually had people tell me, you know what? Your words are exactly what I needed to hear today. And how do you put a price on that? So as Bridgetti said, just do it. Find a small group, raise your hand, volunteer. You can get in there. So one thing I think we should start at the foundation, and is something, since Terry was on, I'm a photographer, so it's so important to have a compelling profile image. If you have a solid egghead or a solid color or a picture of your cat, I have 3 dogs in my office right now, or I love dogs, but it doesn't belong on your profile picture. People want to know, like, and trust you. They are not going to click to watch your video if they don't have an idea of who you are. Bridgetti, what's your take on that?
You've touched a nerve with me. It's an absolute sensitivity with me. I hate eggheads, and I seldom say I hate. I'm going to use my correct phrase. I say I intensely dislike it, because it's not. It doesn't describe you. It doesn't describe who you are or what you represent or what you could do for people. It's a pet hate that I have on any social platform whatsoever. If social is what it is. Social is social. It means that you need to be engaging with people, with real people. I don't want to be engaging with an egghead,
right,
or connecting with an egghead, or connecting with somebody that doesn't even describe who they are. Don't send me a connection request. Hello, Domingos. Don't send me a connection request if you don't have a profile picture of you, not your dog. I'm not, I love dogs, love animals. I don't want to connect with your dog. I want to connect with you. And let me know what you are about. Don't make me go and Google you first.
Right. So the stats behind that, there is some statistics and some reality behind it. Do you know that profiles on LinkedIn with a professionally captured portrait, not a phone pic and not a car pic and not a selfie of you at a party, those professional images get clicked upon 14 times more than eggheads? So there's your stat. Hire a professional, get out there and invest in yourself. And, we always thought here, I'm in the USA, in Florida, and it started about 25, 30 years ago with realtors started using their pictures on cards. And it was so helpful because it was also back in the time of glamour shots when you'd go and get all dolled up and you'd be like, who the heck is that? It creates credibility and familiarity. When I go to a chamber event and I end up with a stack of business cards in my purse or my camera bag, when it has their picture, oh yeah, I remember her, we had a discussion about this. You're increasing your credibility and your familiarity. And just like going live, you're putting yourself out there, and it's so important. So as a photographer, and you can see Bridgetti and I both wore blue, and everybody that knows me know I'm anal retina about If we're going live together, what solid color are we wearing? So we look like we're on the same page because we have a message to bring. We want to look cohesive and consistent. That's been a platform on Ladies Go Live that we've always stuck to. And it really helps the visual appeal because it looks like we're on the same page. And we didn't even tell Stephen today, and he ended up wearing blue, so we know we're on the same page. So Bridgetti, what's your take on that?
Oh, I absolutely agree about it. I do believe that look and feel is part of your overall, it needs to be part of your strategy, part of your branding, because when you are out there and when you are social, I think few people realize that everything you say and everything you do and everything about how you look forms part of your brand. Everything you do online becomes part of your brand. How you come across, how you present yourself, how you present your products, your services, everything forms one big picture, part of your brand. And if you want to be recognized or recognizable, you have to have a cohesive brand. And when we talk about a cohesive brand, is when people see your colors or your logo, they want to say, "Hey, that's Tina's stuff." "Hey, that's Bridgetti's stuff. Hey, that's Stephen's stuff." So you want people to be able to recognize you by what you do and what you do consistently over a period of time. That they want to say, "That's so Tina."
Yeah, and I do change my colors, I change my backgrounds, but that's my brand, is creative and fun and colorful. And my favorite color is purple, and I haven't done purple yet. I've had blue this for a while because it's calming and it's peaceful. And we did a lot of things on World Water Day, so I've stuck with the blue for a little bit. But it's so important to have that credibility and familiarity that will enhance your brand, your message, and make people look forward to what is she going to talk about today, or what is she going to do. So that is so important. And another really basic thing is, you notice that I'm looking at you because I'm looking at my webcam. A lot of people, when they go live, they tend to watch I wanted to watch Bridgetti while I'm online. I'm looking at her now, but unless I'm Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean and I paint some eyeballs on my eyelids, you're not connecting with me if I'm watching her or watching myself. You want to make sure you look at your webcam. And what I suggest to a lot of people that go live with me is put a piece of paper so you're not tempted. Put your notes there that you need to, the points you want to make, so you're not tempted until you get in the practice of connecting with your lens where that little light is on. So that's a really basic tip, but I see it every day in lives where people are watching the host or themselves. I don't want to see your eyelids. I want to see you and connect with you.
Right.
So what else they have? So let's say they have their professional portrait. It's compelling. They've got some great ideas. What's your suggestion for the next tip they should do when they go live?
Well, I would say that there's some basic etiquette when it comes to going live. And one of the things I like about going live and when I go live is introduce yourself. And I want to say a quick shout out to Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining us. There's some basic etiquette when going live. Introduce yourself properly. Tell people who you are. Let them know what your show is about. Always be respectful of people. Unless they're a troll, of course, but we'll I think we need at some point to just talk about that, but let's just shelve the trolls for a moment. But great etiquette is going to take you very far, because if you're lacking etiquette, you're actually going to drive your viewers away. Nobody wants to deal with anybody who's bombastic or rude or doesn't deliver their message in a great way. We can deliver a message, however strong that message may be, but I always like to use the analogy in terms of etiquette is in terms of if you're playing a game of tennis, you need to throw that ball or hit that ball in a manner that the other person can receive it. Because if you're hitting that ball with the aim that it's impossible for a player to hit back at you and make it a two-person game, it's no longer a game. It's no longer social, and it's no longer engaging. So whatever you need to do whatever you do online, make sure that you are engaging, that you're delivering a message, whatever that message is, whatever the story is you're delivering, deliver it in such a manner that it's engaging to your audience. Otherwise, what is the point? I think we touched on this the other day in some conversation, that there's such a major difference between a webinar and a live stream. It's completely different. It calls for a different way of delivery, a different way of engaging with your audience. That's my take on it.
So it's so important to have a plan going in. Why would someone want to watch what you're going to talk about today? Number one. So what 3 tips are you going to offer? If I'm doing a live on 3 things to ask a professional photographer, I'm going to give you the 3 things you can ask. I'm going to give you enough of an appetizer to know, wow, that lady knows her stuff, and I'm either going to hire her, or I'm going to look for someone like her, or I'm going to reach out and friend her, contact her, join her community or whatever. So I form that connection with you. So have a plan going in, and don't be so worried about, oh, nobody's on. And this is like, I know we've all talked about this. We talk about it a lot on Be Live. Do not ever say, let's wait a few minutes until some more people come on. So I showed up to the party on time, and you're going to wait to get the party started until the latecomers? No. Start when you say you're going to start, and start the ball rolling. The bulk majority of your viewers are going to be in the replay. Your perpetual viewership and audience is in the replay. So focus on that and just jump in the water and get started. Don't hold it against the people that are showing up on time to accommodate the latecomers, the people that didn't even RSVP. So that's really important. So eye contact with your webcam. Start immediately when you say you're going to start. Have a plan for your message and your audience. And then also, what are they going to take away? And Bridgetti and I talked about this yesterday on our phone conversation. Don't come in and say, my name is, and I have this certification, and I did this, and this many years of exposure. Focus on the benefits, not the features. If I come to you and tell you how I can help you, you're going to be a lot more interested in me and what I bring to the table than my 35 years of experience and all the awards I've won. It doesn't care. People want to know, WIIFM, what's in it for me? I'm going to give you my time, my energy, my attention. How am I going to benefit? As humans, that's what we're motivated by. Bridgetti, what do you want to add to that?
I absolutely agree with you with that. There's nothing more off-putting than somebody starting off with saying, and I want to reiterate because it's something that really, really irks. It's when people say to you, we paint my nail salon. Oh, how many people are there? No, I'm going to wait. I think we need a few more people. Reiterating what Tina said, don't do that. Just get started, get going, because the majority of your viewers are on the replay, and the people that are already there are going to leave because you're showing complete disrespect for their time and their effort, because they've put aside the time to be there to watch your show, and your replay viewers are not going to be appreciative of that either. So just cut that out of the routine if you really want to. And along with that comes the whole idea of the very first few seconds of your live stream, of your live video. It's what's going to be your hook that's going to pull people in. So if your hook is asking people to wait for 5 minutes, you've already lost them. You want to make your introduction as clear, as concise, as interesting as possible, so that people get hooked in and they want to stay. They're not going to stay for the first 2 seconds. You want to keep them there for the duration of your live stream. So make your introduction count. And that's why live streaming as a brand is so vitally important and different from the person that simply takes their phone and hits go live. So just realize that there are two different categories. If you're live streaming for your business to elevate your brand or your business or whatever it is you do, if you offer a service, really doesn't matter. Understand that it's different to a person simply picking up their phone at a party or wherever they are and pushing the go live button. Because that person doesn't sit there, they don't take the time and the energy to plan out a show. They don't plan an introduction. They don't plan what the body of the video is going to be about. They don't sit and plan what the closing is going to be. They don't do none of that. They don't sit and they plan their graphics. They don't sit and plan their lower thirds. They don't sit and plan what video they may play as part of their live stream or pictures or anything. It takes a lot of work. People that live stream to elevate their brand don't simply by accident hit the go live button. It's no accident. It takes a lot of work. And after you finished your live is not the end of the live stream. There's a lot of work that still needs to take place after you've completed your live stream. So the two nuances are completely different. And it doesn't mean that you can't go live on the spot or on your phone occasionally. People love behind the scene views.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use the two in conjunction with each other. But I just wanted to show that there's a difference between the two.
You know, a great place to start if you're not ready to take the reins and ride that horse yet is go on as a guest on someone else's show, as Bridgetti suggested earlier. But even if you were on this live right now and Stephen posted like, come on and join as a guest, which we may do at the end depending on time, that's a great way to get your feet wet. And always, you know what, if I'm not on the live and one of my friends is on, I will go and support what they're saying. In the Ladies Go Live community, Sarah Fox is like a superstar at this. She will always like reiterate what the speaker is saying in the comments, or a really good quote or a tweetable or a hashtag. That is a way you can support the person who is going live. One of the dogs is having a reverse sneeze, like a hiccup. So support the person that's going live and be a team player. That's really important. And that's something that gets you involved in live and going live.
Oh, absolutely. I want to agree with you. Sarah is a star. And I want to say a huge big thanks to Kelly as well, because Kelly's also been a huge supporter. And Kelly says absolutely what Kelly says is correct. He says sometimes he can listen, but he can't see the visual. And so he loves replays and podcasts. And so do I, Kelly, to be very honest with you, because often I'm busy working and I will listen to a live stream. And it's one of the reasons, this particular broadcast isn't really about repurposing, but it is one of the things that you can do when you, after your live stream, is repurpose it for a podcast. It's something that I've got into recently and that I'm absolutely enjoying, is converting my live streams into podcasts. It's like 2 for the price of 1. You know, you do so much work, you put so much effort into producing a live stream. Why not repurpose your live stream into a podcast, for example? And there's many ways in which you can do that, but we're not going to dive deep into that today. But definitely do repurpose your live streams for sure.
Well, it's like I love my analogies with those of you that know me. So when I cook, I like to cook in my crock pot and I like to make a lot. Now there's my husband and I and a whole bunch of animals here. So if I was making a soup or a chili, I can make a lot of it and then freeze portions of it. So a month or so down the line, I can go to my freezer and have a delicious homemade vegetarian or vegan meal and not have to gone through all that work. So exactly what Bridgetti just said is when you're repurposing and making your live into a podcast, we're not doing a cooking presentation here like Jackie Tang or an art and craft presentation that you need to look and see what we're doing. I don't even watch myself because I make too many crazy faces. And I'm like, oh my God, I look like a cartoon animal. But I listen to a lot of lives and a lot of replays when I'm driving in my car. And a lot of those can be repurposed. So think about when you're going live, unless you're going to describe what you're doing. Now I'm going to do this, or I'm going to show you on the share screen here. I would say the majority of what we're talking about on our lives is listenable. It's not really, you don't really have to view it. And that's a way to extend. Bridgetti was talking too about yesterday when we were talking about how you can take clips out of your lives and use those to market the bigger picture or a reel of something, what you're doing. And one thing that I do, I'm not a movie goer because I can't sit still that long. But do you notice now in movies, when you watch them, they start right into the story and then the credits come on with the title and the stars? That's what we really encourage our viewers and our audience and our people that go live. Go ahead and jump right in. Today, we're going to be talking about this, and that. You're going to meet these people. They're going to bring this to the table. By the way, I'm Tina Valant. I'm coming to you from South Florida, blah, blah, blah. So you're hooking them in, as Bridgetti said earlier. Then intro yourself, give the benefits, reaffirm the benefits of what they're going to do your live, be respectful of people's time, and then wrap it up at the end. So if somebody did come in at the end, here's the short version of what we reviewed today. And now you've given them, they can get it at the beginning, they can get it throughout the live, and they have that wrap up at the end that you can use as a clip to promote people watching the full version.
Right. No, absolutely. And here's another tip for you when you are live streaming. With programs such as Be Live, for example, we've got the benefit of lower thirds. And you can use that very, very strategically. You can, and again, preparation is the key to absolutely everything. Preparation is the key to live streaming. You're going to do your psychological preparation for your broadcast. You're going to do your physical preparation for your broadcast. Get all your bits and pieces and your ducks and things, everything in a row before you hit the go live button. And part of your arsenal should be the ability to brand your show in your live stream. So have your branding colors, have your logo ready, have your lower thirds that matches everything else, and plan your lower thirds. So you don't have to, for example, now Facebook's changed its algorithms and there's things that we encourage not to do, not to say, but you can use those things strategically in your lower thirds. And a very great tip that I got from Owen Video not too long ago was, there's a number of, I think it's 21 characters you can use so that you can get the big letters in your lower thirds. So plan those strategically, because after 21 letters, the letters go slightly smaller and it's harder for people to read. So plan them. So if you want to make a longer sentence, end it at 21 letters and then do another one, but play them in sequence, so that people can see that. And, that's a great way to remind people what your conversation is about, because, live streaming is live streaming. Not everybody is able to join your live streaming from the beginning to the end. So sometimes you get somebody that will join and you'll see a comment, and that's one of the things you need to be aware of is check your comments throughout the broadcast. And if you aren't able to do that as a host, here's another tip. If you are new, for example, and I get that, when you're new, trying to make sense of all the mechanics of how live streaming works, focusing on looking at the camera, focusing on your content. It is a lot to get used to in the beginning. Get somebody to co-produce with you. Get someone then to manage your comments if you're not able to focus on the comments, but don't ignore your audience. And so people will join as you go along. And hi, Laura. And sometimes what you can do then is you want to be able to, if somebody puts in the comment, I've just joined, what is this about? Have your sequence ready so you don't have to interrupt your cycle if that's going to cause you to stumble. And you can simply play your pre-planned lower thirds to let the person know what it is about. But here's another tip too. And this was also something that I learned from Owen Video and that I have personally implemented, is in your lower thirds, in your frame, instead of focusing so much on the name that people may already know, again, and this was something that you mentioned as well, Tina, is focus on what you do, the outcome. I help you deliver great live streams. So put that in your lower third, because that's, as apart from saying, I'm Tina Valant and Co., But if there's something I can, branding you with photography, or branding you with great images, something like that. What is the outcome? What is it in there for the person? Why must they watch? What is the benefit for them? Have that as part of your branding and your messaging, so that anybody that comes in will be able to see, oh, that's what the show is about. They don't have to wonder about it. Those are little nuances that you can get. And just talking about being engaging as well. You don't have to. You can acknowledge people, as they come in, if you have the ability to do that. And I know it's very difficult in the beginning, but don't get sidetracked so much by going into a separate conversation with the person that's just joined. Oh, hi, John, I didn't see you. Oh my goodness, it's a long time. We should have tea. It's not relevant to the conversation. You can go back to John later and set up that tea date or coffee date with him.
So Bridgetti, you just brought up an excellent point about sidetracked. And how much is that couch in your background?
Aha, interesting question. I'm so pleased you asked that. So the reason why Tina asked me that question is, if you didn't know this, you do need to know that there's a trolling gang out there in Facebook land. And I wouldn't be surprised if they spread elsewhere. But currently there is a trolling group, and they're actually referred to as the couch gang. And what they do is they will come in and they will disrupt your live stream. They'll throw you off kilter by asking you questions about couches. And you may not even have a couch visible. But the thing is about delivering a successful live stream is being forewarned, is being forearmed. So part of your live streaming strategy, as part of it, you should have policies in place, because it's your show. You need to understand it's your show. You are in charge. So you need to know in advance what your strategy is, what you're going to do, if this, then that. So part of that strategy is knowing what you're going to do if a troll comes along. How are you going to deal with it? Don't get blindsided by them. Expect that at some point somebody will try and troll your live stream. So if you have that expectation, you will know in advance how you are going to deal with it.
And that's one thing that we've done on Ladies Go Live. That's why most women don't want to go live. They're afraid that somebody's going to say, you're fat. Why are you talking about this? You're ugly. Who cares about what you have to say? And you have to stay focused on the one person out there that's waiting to hear your message and the way that you uniquely deliver it into the world. So my policy is, if I'm on Bridgetti's and someone's coming in the comments and saying something rude, number one, I can report them. Periscope has been great for that, hitting that button about reporting a comment. And that I've noticed the troll numbers have gone way down. If I'm on Facebook Live or Be Live, if someone is attacking my friend that I'm trying to get something out of, I will either report it or I will comment to them like, this is not appropriate. You need to go find a better hobby. What are you, a 12-year-old kid? And half the time you go to their profile, they're not live. They're an egghead. They've got a cat picture or a cartoon. They're nobody you need to even be worried about. So stay focused. My policy is ignore, because just like children, they will get bored when you're not interacting with them and you're not giving them any power, and they will go away. So just stay focused, as Bridgetti said, on the message that you have to give out there. Someone's waiting to hear it. And don't let those little people that have nothing to say, and they're not as brave as you and as strong as you, because they're not going live. So you have an important message out there, and that's what your focus should be. Don't let the trolls get to you. There's no reason to. Bridgetti, what's been your policy on that?
I have a no tolerance policy for trolls. Absolutely zero, zilch. I will not tolerate trolls. Now, there's a difference. Sometimes it's people that simply are seeking attention, and that's okay. If attention is what they want, I will give them a little bit of attention. But sometimes you just need to use the block button. And I have no gumption whatsoever about using the block button. If you are more than just an attention-seeking person. If you are a outright troll, a troublemaker, I will not hesitate to hit the troll button, the block button. That's what it's there for. So know what you're going to do in advance and know how you are going to deal with it. And sometimes, people may come across as a troll, and it could also just be a cry for help. So you need to also be vigilant to be able to distinguish what is going on there. And I know that in the beginning it may be pretty difficult, but sometimes trolling can also be a cry for some form of assistance. So I don't have a particular hard and fast rule. I try and, one of the things I find that is very helpful is coming from a place of empathy first, and then I'll move on to being more hardcore. But start off from empathy, because if you can diffuse a situation, any kind of conflict situation, then it's a win-win for everyone. So always try and, or that's my take anyway, try and diffuse. But if you can't diffuse and this person is just genuinely hell-bent on being disruptive, and wanting to sideblind you and sidetrack you, then by all means, don't hesitate to hit the block button. So that's my policy on trolling.
So I think we covered that really well. I think another really important thing is when you're going live, if you're having a guest, make sure you can see Bridgetti and I are both at eye level. I'm not a big head and she's a small head. Avoid the nose hair angle. I say this all the time as a photographer. Make sure your lens or your webcam, you might have to boost up your laptop or put your phone on a tripod. Make sure your camera is eye level or above. It's a lot more flattering. Nobody looks good from the nose hair level. It adds a lot of weight to you and it's not flattering. So make sure you're looking up. That's really important. And make sure you're on level and on par with your guest. I wouldn't want her to be a pinhead and me to be a big head. So we're even that way. Another thing I see, not only in photography, but video, is people tend to want to talk from their chin. And I don't know, because they're worried maybe their neck is, has wrinkles and they're trying to stretch it out. Not flattering. Always try to talk from your mind and your third eye and your heart and your intention. And you'll see I'm always kind of pointing down because I'm reminding myself, this is the angle I want to come to. Not here, not talking from here, talking from here, because it's a lot more relatable and warm feeling to the viewer. So that's so important.
I absolutely agree. I totally agree with you. And here's a quick tip. And I find that this is something that not only beginner live streamers make, but also guests. So I'm very strong on this. If I'm having a guest, I want to try and find something that's going to make my guest look as good as possible on camera. Because that is the whole point, is highlighting your guests. And you don't want to make sure that it's only you look good. Hi, Linda, great to see you. And hi, Laura. You want to make sure that your guest looks great on camera as well, because guests make this mistake all the time. You will see the guest and their camera, and usually they don't have a webcam. Very few guests have webcams. Invariably they'll be using their laptop, and it's a very, very easy trick to fix that, because generally when we're busy working on our computer, you'll have the screen tilted slightly back because it's easier to read that way, and that's great. But when you're going to be using your camera that's built into your laptop, a very slight change is going to make all the difference. Have your screen tilted up straight. Ask the guest to tilt their screen up straight, dead straight, because then you are going to be looking at them. The next thing you want to ask them to do is to take a couple of books and put it underneath their laptop, just to raise the camera so that you can make connection with their eyes. And if your guest is too close, and this I find all the time, the guest is always like right up front there, ask them to then just move their laptop back a bit, back away from the camera, so that you see more of them. Another thing you can do very quickly while we are talking about camera and visuals is to ask the guest in advance to make sure that there's no light coming from behind them. because then we're going to focus on what's behind them, the light, and we're not going to see the face of the guest. Now, I understand you're not going to get it perfectly right with guests always, because first prize is always to just get the guest right. But these are things that you want to do. And if you explain it to the guest that your aim is to make them look good on camera, and who doesn't want to, right? When you approach it from that perspective and say, hey, I want to repurpose this video. I want you to put it onto your website. I want you to share it on your YouTube account. I want you to share it on Twitter. I want you to share it on your timeline. So I want you to look good. And this is how you can look good. And yay, presto. Very often they are completely cooperative because they want to look good on camera.
And you touched upon something really important. I was checking the time, so I think we should start to wrap up, but you touched upon something really important. As a photographer, when your images that I've taken look good, it makes me look good. When you've heard Bridgetti and I bouncing off each other, and can we find something we disagree about? That's what I want to do. But how we're bouncing and playing off each other, we're affirming what the other one says because we're in agreement. That makes both of us look good, and we're on the same page, not only visually, but in our words, in our delivery, in our documentation. Be conscious of your body language. I'm very energetic, so I'm all over the place, and I need to sometimes calm down a little bit. And again, you see me talking from my forehead and not my neck because I'm reminding myself. So slow down. When I get excited, I tend to talk very quickly. And I think in wrapping up, with the message I'd like to leave you with is every person who's hearing or watching us on live for 5 days, I challenge you this week to come up with a 3 to 5 minute presentation that you can give live. And then you can also, I have my main page on Facebook, but I developed a speaker page, and that's where I'll put all my videos. You don't have to put everything on your personal page so all your friends, all your family, all your business associates see it. Have a speaker page that maybe that's where you're playing in the sandbox of live. And then if you watch that video and you feel confident, then share it over your personal page. So it's a way to get your feet in the water and get wet. But my challenge for you is come up with 3 to 5 minutes. What is a new product you're using? What is some benefit that you can bring to the world that you want to tell everyone about? So that's my challenge I want to close with today. Bridgetti?
Our time went by so quickly. I want to say a huge big thank you to every single person that's joined us live today. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I'm going to miss a few people here. Kelly, thank you so much for always commenting, and I will get back to those questions. I did see that we have a number of comments, and we'll get back to those after the show. So huge big thank you. And so my takeaway from here is don't let anything hold you back from elevating your brand with live streaming. If you need assistance, ask for help. Jump on someone else's live, but get your feet wet in live streaming as quickly as possible and ask for help. Ask for help. I promise you, nobody is going to say no. Everybody, that's the one thing I love about the live streaming community is that it's super helpful, super engaging. So just ask for help and you'll get it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live today, and enjoy the rest of the week with 5 days live. Bye for now.